Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capperson. I'm here with BJ Thomas.
Gonzaga, 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 Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, Gonzaga, Gonzaga. So we are short doing Cody right now. He is on his way. I promise he was not fired on his day off like Paul Pierce.
Yeah, well, Dorian also doesn't appear on the Instagram with strippers and weed in his mouth.
This is true. This is
I think
true.
I think that helps Dorian's career opportunities and choices there. Uh,
It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to do that when you work for Disney.
he could have done that without the video and done it for his whole career.
Yeah, he probably
Yep,
did.
probably did. Probably did it for his whole basketball career too. You
Yeah,
want to be honest about it?
yeah. That's something we've talked about is Twitter and social media just in general did not exist back in the 80s and 90s. And if it
No,
did, I'm not sure Jordan would have been the guy that he was. I'm sure Rodman probably would have been worse.
I don't know. I feel like Jordan's like a secretive dude. He might have been one of those drop your phones in the basket before you come in this room people.
Could be.
I just get that vibe from him. Like I think he would understand the scope of the internet and be like, nope, 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 nope.
Not
I do too many things.
Yeah, but could you imagine peak Twitter and peak Chuck?
He'd have been arrested a lot more. I imagine. It wasn't nothing for him to bar fight.
No, 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 no. He didn't care.
He didn't care.
Well, and speaking of not caring, it did not seem like Gonzaga cared. Um,
I think they got bullied.
yeah, what I think happened, I think Baylor was a supremely talented team, came out supremely confident, took it to him early, and Gonzaga was coming off the emotional roller coaster from Saturday and never really got into the game. They tried and they just couldn't.
Yeah, Baylor definitely had the emotional advantage because they didn't just get drained
Yeah,
a few days before. Yeah, that's tough to go through that roller coaster and then amp yourself up for something like that afterwards.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like you see a lot of these great games that happen, and typically the team that wins the great game, if they play in a couple days, especially in the tournament, they'll lose. The teams that win the quote unquote great games are the ones that win like in the Elite Eight or in the championship game when you don't have a game the following day.
Yeah, you can
S-
breathe.
Yep. So like Duke Kentucky, if you remember, was an Elite Eight game. Like going to
Mhm.
the Final Four, they had time to kind of come back down to earth, get ready, and
Yeah,
go.
I'm sure
And
that's a huge advantage for that to happen that
oh
way.
yeah, yeah. And football, you do have that kind of natural time because of
Hmm.
the way the games are. And
Right.
basketball, if you have just an emotionally draining game that was, and it was one of the greatest games I've seen. It's
Absolutely.
hard to just come back and just be peak emotionally attached,
Yeah, I can get
especially
that.
when that much is on the line.
I can get that.
So
That's I feel bad for them. They had a great season, but the undefeated is one of the toughest things to do in
yeah,
sports. It's just everybody is in college basketball for a reason. They can all play.
yeah,
It's just a question of can they put it together consistently. That's not really a problem in the tournament. They might have to put it together one night and beat you. It's just crazy.
yeah.
It's just
And
crazy.
I saw a stat that the last team to play for the title that was undefeated was 1979. Do you know who played in that game?
Larry Bird and Magic
Against.
Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah, and Magic Johnson won by 5, I think.
I thought they won by like double digits.
I'm not positive.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm,
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not going to lie to anybody listening. I'm surprised I knew that. Yeah, I
but
don't want to. I don't want anybody to think I'm some like
some just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not like
savant.
I'm not Rain Man. I'm very surprised I knew that. I'm over here slapping myself on the back as we speak.
But it's extremely hard. It's not as hard
Absolutely.
to go undefeated in football because there's so fewer games. It's a
Yeah.
lot harder to go undefeated in basketball. And I do not want to hear anyone say, "Well, Gonzaga doesn't play anybody,"
Well, see,
which
and
is bullshit.
that's one of the reasons I like divisions within conferences, and that's because somebody gets to see you twice,
Yep.
and it really puts the strain on the undefeated because I get another shot at you at my
Hmm.
field possibly. So that's my biggest thing with the conferences. I love having them chopped up like that because I think you'd see a lot more undefeated if somebody had to play a straight conference schedule.
Well, and it goes back to the number of teams and number of games in these conferences. So typically, a conference schedule will be 18 games.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I know in the Big Ten it was you do it was 9 and 9, and then they kind of expanded a little bit more.
Mhm.
But with these divisions and with the conferences being so big, because I think the ACC is like 14 teams big,
Yeah, it's big.
you physically can't play every team twice.
No, and it's a shame because there are certain things in the ACC that should happen every year,
Yes.
and it can't. They can't do it because of the size of the conference.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a shame. So I say let's get rid of NC State. Let's get rid of some other teams and just scissor them out of there.
Oh, we can just do that in all sports. We can just get rid of Vanderbilt from the SEC.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Just scissor them out of there. Just scissor them out of there. Relegate them like I've
yeah.
wanted to do forever. European soccer has the answer to everything. Relegate them, put them in a lesser league, and if they want to play with the big boys, they got to do something.
Well, see, and that's what's really funny about Gonzaga is people will say, well, they don't play anybody in their conference. BYU and St. Mary's, are good schools, but they're not great schools. But
Hmm.
look at their non-conference. They go
Yeah,
out and play in well
yeah.
scheduled teams in their
Hmm.
non-conference, and you don't see the North Carolinas, the Dukes scheduling as many great games out of conference as Gonzaga does.
And you don't know how hard it is for those little guys to get those big games.
Oh,
They
I
got
don't.
they. I mean, the universal you, I don't think understands it.
Yeah.
Like, I just it's such a risk. We talked about this either the last week or the week before. It's just such a gamble for these big guys to be like, I'll play you, and then have a team like Wichita State that will run you into the floor of the gym.
Oh yeah. I remember when Texas came here to Orlando and played UCF when they opened that stadium and almost lost. Probably should have
Yeah,
lost.
yeah,
And Mac Brown left and went, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done was schedule them
yeah,
because they
yeah.
had nothing to play for. And UCF almost won that game.
Yep. And now you got confidence questions on Texas because they almost lost to UCF. Like
Yep.
guys that could be shook or I don't know. I just it needs to happen though. I think they need to force teams to do it instead of forcing because what the way the system's set up now is you're kind of waiting for somebody to go out on their own limb and instead they should be like, nope, you're going to play one of these guys. You're going to play Wichita State this year. You're going to play Loyola Chicago.
Well, I like what I saw. A couple of the coaches got together and went, with the COVID year and that's how we kind of did things, they learned a few things. And what they learned was you can schedule on the fly
Hmm.
and it's okay. I think
Yeah.
it was BYU that had a game that got rescheduled and whatnot. And it was like the next day they played. And so coaches are like, these big power schools are going, hey, wait a second. How about we just have like a week of just blank schedule. We know
Yeah.
we're going to play a game,
Yeah.
but it's blank. And then as we get closer, we figure out who we want to play. If we're
Yeah.
on the bubble, we play another bubble team. If we're a big time team, we play another big time team.
You know, I was thinking too is like if you want to force the big time schools to play the little guys, maybe we could make sure that's out of region. So like Syracuse to
Yeah,
play Wichita State, so it doesn't feel like such a big hit to recruiting. Whereas like Wichita State beating Kansas would be like, oh,
yeah.
that could flip a couple of recruits.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I know they tried it with the bigger conferences with the like the ACC and Big Ten Challenge, but I mean, I could totally see like the American versus the Big East, or the
Mm,
Pac-12 versus the Big East in basketball.
yeah,
Just completely random. Like you said, not really going to impact recruiting, other than it gets these guys on TV,
right.
and there's enough talent where you can do it.
Hmm. There is college basketball's there. I wish they'd add a little more and put a restriction on who can go right into the NBA.
Well, and I know we've talked about that in the
Yeah,
past. Is I really do believe that you need to be in college at least 2 years, if not three, just
yeah,
to allow your body to mature, allow your game to mature, and not just for the game, and not just for the players, but for the game itself. These guys are coming into the NBA and they're just not good.
no, they aren't.
I
And
mean,
honestly, you're not even really getting them that good their first year in college either. Like
no.
they're athletically better or they're, maybe a little more skilled, but I don't know. The quality of basketball is not that good.
I mean, I blame Doradamas for this one because I know way back when the NBA season started, he asked us point blank, who's going to win Rookie of the Year? That was the question that he asked.
Hmm.
And I think because of that, all the rookies this year have sucked.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I mean, I can't name a rookie that I would want on my team.
Nope, nope.
You know,
Nobody stands out.
no.
Nobody. I mean, not even as like a complimentary player, like a second guy or third guy. It's just a very blah class.
Yeah, and I know Minnesota is trying their damnedest to get Anthony Edwards to win Rookie of the Year. I saw a stat that he put up the second most shots of any player in the month of March.
Cut him loose. I
They
like
just
it.
like they
Cut
just
it
basically went,
loose.
"Fuck it, we're not going to win, so just go,
Yeah, just go.
get the awards. We don't care."
I believe Carl Anthony Towns dunked on Joel Embiid pretty nasty. Speaking of the Timberwolves, earlier this week, it was pretty ugly.
Yeah,
It's very physical.
but did they win? No. So it doesn't. To me, that doesn't matter. Yeah, a great dunk is great,
You ever see
but if
Shaq
we
get dunked on?
no,
Okay, Joel Embiid is Shaq. He's the most dominant physical specimen in the game right now. He should not be getting dunked on. He should have
I
thrown Carl Anthony Towns on the ground.
yeah, but I think Shaq took the game a lot more seriously than Embiid does.
It sucks. I think that's the case in a lot of situations now. A lot of players are like that.
And, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's just the generation.
Well, listen to how they talk about Giannis not wanting to be friends and all that. That's how they were. That's how
Yeah.
everybody was. Like now they look at him like, oh my gosh, Giannis doesn't have basketball friends. It's like,
So,
yeah, so
but
he's out here trying to kill you every night.
but it is that Giannis or is that the EuroLeague? Because you hear kind of the same things about Luca, about Kristaps. Just the guys that grew up over in Europe. Again, they grew up playing with grown ass men. They
Yep.
weren't trying to be friends. They were
No,
trying to, get build their brand, become better players. They didn't care if you were friendly.
no. It's getting to the point where the toughness and competition is coming from overseas. So I'm wondering what the point's going to be with the American players. Like, look, we're getting shown up here. Like,
Well,
what's the trigger? What's going to be like?
at what point do they care?
Is
And
it the Mavericks winning the title with Kristaps and Luca if they can pull that off in the next
the
few years?
Mavericks won the title with Dirk, and it didn't change anything.
Yeah, well, that might have been the wake up call, and then now you got two Europeans that could take him to the title. So I mean, I'm just saying. And what do you do? Throw another one in there? Next thing you know, we got.
But but my point is still valid. At what point do they care? If James Harden is scoring 30 a night and getting paid $200 million,
Oh,
does he give a shit?
oh,
I mean,
he's so tough to watch. So tough to watch.
eh, and I really do hope that Brooklyn does not win the title this year. I
No,
really
I
do.
don't want to validate that style of play
No,
at all.
no, and you've got LA signing who they signed today, Ben McLemore, and they're like, well, this is going to put us over the edge. No, you guys are desperate.
I mean, he's another 2-3 that can come in there and contribute, but what's he going to do? Is he going to help you guard KD or
No.
Harden?
Yeah, and I saw what Harden didn't he get hurt last night?
I was watching that game. He hurt his hamstring, and he's supposed to miss 10 days. I think. I didn't think it said 10 games. I think it said 10 days.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But there, this is the wrong time of the season to start breaking down like this.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Uh,
And that's the thing. But go
KD
ahead.
was out. I'm sorry, KD was out last night. James Harden went out in the second or third quarter, early third or second quarter, one of those. And
Yeah, and
Kyrie took over.
yeah, well, he had
Kyrie
to.
got Yeah, he looked good though.
Well, Kyrie's always going to look good when he is the star.
I'll
When
tell you
he,
who else looked good in the game was damn Julius Randle.
yes,
He was fun to watch last night. He was like a bigger, like a slower LeBron.
you
He,
talking about somebody who needed a change of scenery.
yeah, yeah. He must have been dreaded going to New York while Kobe was still with the Lakers. Like that
Yeah,
must have been tough, but
yeah,
he survived it. And I think Thibodeau is trying to use him the way he should have been used the day he was drafted.
yeah.
He,
And
he's a point forward with post skills.
and that's my question with a lot of these players in both football and basketball. These guys that get drafted and flame out. Now some are just horribly overrated, and that is what it is. But how many of them go to systems where the coaches don't know how to use them properly?
Untold numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that happens a lot more than we know.
I mean, you were asking me today about Quiddy Pay from Michigan because it looks like I know some of the mocks have him being drafted by the Cowboys. And if he goes to the right system, and I think the Cowboy system is right for him, he can be a superstar, but he cannot do it on his own. He is
I
not somebody that's going to dominate the game by himself.
But and fair enough. But we are drafting number 10. We need to have somebody. I'm not talking shit about the Michigan guy, but
No,
it's
no.
just like you need somebody that's going to have a little more impact on the game than the right system.
Well, and let me ask you this though: Are you drafting 10, or are you drafting in the first round?
I think
And
we're drafting 10. I believe they're going to try to pair Patrick Surtain with Tavon Diggs.
well, see, and I say that very specifically because you only get one first round draft pick. So if you have a list of needs, and an edge rusher is on the list of your needs, and he's up there, and he's a first round talent. It doesn't matter where in the first round you are. If he's first round talent, then you have to pick where you're picking. As assuming you can't get someone to trade up so you can trade down, because that's always the limitation. He
Right.
he might grade to a 20 or 23, and I think that's about right for pay. But if you need him and you're drafting 10 and you can't trade down, you don't really have a choice.
The mock you sent me today has Kyle Pitts going to the Cincinnati Bengals to rot forever.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and I think the mock I sent you had the first four picks being quarterbacks,
Which would be outrageous, just
which
about.
yeah,
I mean, when's the last time anything like that happened?
I don't think it's ever happened.
No,
I don't think it's
not
ever
that I can
happened that the
recall.
first four picks have been quarterbacks.
And my sorry ass is a draft watcher too. Like I'll watch the first 3 rounds because I'm a
Yeah.
nerd.
I mean, I'll follow it. Depends on kind of what's going on. Like if we're home, I'll have it on TV. I don't sit there and go, well, this guy's going to go here. This guy would fit here, because it doesn't really matter because these
No,
GMs don't know what the hell they're doing.
no, I don't. I don't do that as much. But I'd like to see. Like I watch enough football to where I'll try to see who the division guys got. Like,
Yeah.
okay, who the Giants get? Is he going to be a problem? Who the Redskins get? Are they going to be? The football team. Who the football team get? Are they going to be a problem? I mean, I've been saying Redskins for like 35 years.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try, guys. I'll try.
And here's what I would say with that. As long if you screw up, as long as you go, oh my bad, I screwed up. Okay, cool. I mean, I have this conversation with people all the time of we as a society are changing our language and how we describe things and what we call things. There are going to be things that we said back 20, 30 years ago that was acceptable then, that's not acceptable
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah.
That we will slip up, and as long as we go, yep, sorry, I slipped up, my bad. And
Yeah.
as long as you acknowledge that and you're trying, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I try to catch myself. I try not to
Yeah.
say that. I try not to call them. But the Washington football team is terrible. We need a name.
Well, and they don't want a name. I think we talked about that last week. They don't. They want to remain as the Washington football team. I'm just like, that's just stupid. Like, you can call. I mean, really, call yourself the Washington Sentinels and be done with it. You already have
Da-
the colors. They already have the logos. Just get Keanu Reeves out there and be done.
Daniel Snyder is like the 50th ditto sheet copy of Jerry Jones. You know how it's
Yes.
like faded and you can just barely read the writing?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he is. It's not it's just he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. I can't why are people like this rich, Adam? What the fuck am I doing? Like what how does people stupid like Daniel Snyder make money? He's like,
Because you have morals. You have ethics.
yeah, I don't know if I could run a business because I'm not a scuzzo.
Well, and that's the thing. You can run a successful business.
Yeah.
That's completely fine. My dad runs a successful business by himself. He's got morals. He's got ethics. Some of the language that comes out of his mouth is not exactly customer service friendly, but that's beside the point. But he doesn't run a multi-billion-dollar business, and that's the
Right.
key. For most people running a multi-billion-dollar business, there's going to be reasons why you're that profitable, and I'm sure it's not going to be just because you got lucky.
I read a quote somewhere, and I can't remember who it came from, but it said, "If you're a billionaire, you're okay with people suffering.
Yes.
Like you figured out, you've settled, you've come to terms with it, and you're just cool with it."
Well, because and part of the problem is these companies, especially these billionaires, they own companies that are publicly owned.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and your stock price is based on your bottom line. Well, if you start paying people more, your bottom line starts to decrease because your costs are decreasing. Well, what happens? Well, then your stock automatically goes down because you're not as profitable, and then you're worthless. So it's a big shell game. And until we get out of that system, it's going to remain the way it is.
So this is what builds assholes like Daniel Snyder.
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
See, we came full circle. We've
Yeah, we figured it out.
figured it out. I
But
just he's not a good owner. I don't know why the NFL hasn't said, "Hey, you're killing one of our flagship franchises here."
because he still brings in money, he still puts a product out on the field that people pay to go see.
We have to stop celebrating train wrecks as a culture. We
Good
can
luck with
watch
that.
we can watch them, but we don't have to like fund them.
Dude, look up the story of Crush, Texas. You ever hear the story of Crush, Texas?
No.
So Crush, Texas was a city that popped up in the state of Texas back in the 1800s. It was only a city for like a week. It was built around a planned train wreck. They knew they were going to wreck two trains because they were trying to decommission them. And they built this city around where they were going to crash into them so people could watch.
I hope they all caught shrapnel.
I don't think anybody actually got hurt.
Like I feel guilty looking at car accidents. No, I do. Like when I drive by a car accident, I'm like, don't look at that shit.
But you do it.
I do it, but I don't pay to do it.
And this is true.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Every season, I guarantee you, every season, every Washington fan will tune into the games if they're on. Every season, I know I follow the Lions. I'm not paying to go to their games, but I'm sure if I lived in Detroit, I'd probably pay for a game or two. As sad as it is, I probably
You
would.
support that shit?
I probably would. Hell,
We went
I support the Magic. I go to a couple Magic games. What's the difference?
we went to Burger King. This is supporting shitty businesses. This is what this story's about. We went to a
Going to
Burger
Burger
King
King?
for
Done.
breakfast. For breakfast, yeah. Boy, are they all garbage? Are they garbage when you go to them too?
Yes, that's why
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
just
go.
making sure they're all
Yeah.
garbage. Oh, so we go in there this morning. We sit there 45 minutes waiting for them to take our order. Take our order.
Yeah.
Talk to us. Never happened. I walked out. My coworker stayed there for another 20 minutes to get their food, to order and get their food. They came out. I said, man, I'm mad at y'all. They're like, why? I was like, why the hell would you give them your money?
Yeah.
There's a McDonald's on the corner. I know it's terrible, but like we can still get food,
But
and
the quality of food really isn't much of a difference.
it's not much of a difference. That croissant sandwich though is a beast. We're just gonna talk facts. The croissant sandwich, that fluffy little croissant sandwich when it's right. Mm. Anyways, McDonald's over there, we could have gone and gave them our money, and they're probably properly staffed.
Well, and see, and here's the thing: if you went and talked to the manager at Burger King, they'd probably go, "Well, with COVID restrictions, we're doing this." And we're like, "No, it's not COVID. It's because you can't adapt.
Buddy, the manager was running the register. Yeah,
You figure it out."
yeah, yeah. So I was like, all right. And they're like, why are you mad at us? I was like, because you owe me like 15 minutes of my life.
Yeah. Oh,
I
more
said,
than that.
they should not have gotten our money. The only
No.
reason we stayed there for 45 minutes is because we were having a conversation and I got lost. And I looked at my phone and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, shitty business. We got to stop celebrating shitty businesses. Burger King should close.
Well, it's not just celebrating shitty businesses; it's celebrating mediocrity. I mean, and that goes across all of society. I mean, you've got just the businesses that kind of just peter along and might be profitable, might not be, but who cares? And you see it in sports. I mean, again, the Washington team's a good example of that. They're not ever great, but they're just kind of there. They kind of exist, and they're celebrated. The Lions are normally pathetic, but occasionally they pop up and make the playoffs. The Clippers, up until recently, were shit and no one cared, but people still went to the games. This is something that we celebrate as a society, and we have to stop it. And I
Hmm.
don't, and it it's personal choice. Unfortunately, you can't regulate stupid out of people.
Like it's getting so bad that with the Magic that I am not even going to watch their games on TV anymore. I'm going to illegally stream them.
I can't even watch their games anyway, so I don't really care.
No, but I just want them to make sure that I know that I'm not paying anything, nothing,
But
nothing
see,
towards them.
they don't care. They really don't care. You can, do your little protest, and they don't care because that contract with the TV companies are signed anyway, and whether you watch or not, they don't care. And there's a reason why that when the Magic are normally or in the playoffs, they're normally on NBA TV and they're not on like NBC, ABC
Because
or
nobody
ESPN.
cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch them anyway. It's the nature of the beast.
Pick the loser, folks. My basketball team's a loser.
Yeah, well, I'm a Michigan fan and a Detroit Lions fan, so get used to it.
You know, I'm about to do the unthinkable. I'm about to jump ship.
See, I don't think that's allowed. I don't think that's allowed.
I'm doing it. I've been patient. This should be reviewed. It should be checked under special circumstances. That I have been patient since I moved here in 1989. The team started in '88, I think, '89,
Something like
right
that.
around there. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got here at the same time. I've been patiently waiting for them to do something right. They draft Shaquille O'Neal. They draft Chris Webber. They trade him for Penny Hardaway. They did something right. It was amazing. And then it's been a shit show ever since. 1992, shit show. The Dwight Howard thing was an accident. They did the bare minimum around Dwight. Find shooters, overpay one ridiculously.
Well, they kind of lucked into the Dwight Howard thing, and not just drafting him, but Van Gundy just kind of lucked into that entire offense. Because if you remember, it was supposed to be just three shooters. I forget who the point guard was. It was the point guard Turkoglu and Lewis with Dwight and Petit on the
You
court, and they were.
you forgot who Jameer Nelson was?
I did forget who Jameer Nelson was.
Oh my god!
I'd say,
Jeez.
but that was supposed to be their offense. Petit
Yeah,
got hurt. They moved Dwight to center, moved Lewis to power forward, and
stretch it all out.
yeah, and I don't want to say kind of go on record with it, but I will. It changed the NBA. People realized, hey, look, you can win games just by shooting.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah,
Thanks.
he created this mess.
You and Dan Tony fucked and had a
Yeah,
baby, and we got the NBA in the current state.
and it's not ever going back.
I like the way you talk.
It's not, and it's not a good product. It is.
Just
It's
I don't care to watch the dribbling. Like dribbling to get somewhere is always awesome,
yeah.
but just the random or the James Harden constant breakdown at the 3 point line, like I just don't care for it.
Well, and it's just like the NFL. Like the NFL a couple years ago, they've been slowly getting away from this, but it seemed like every team in the NFL 5 years ago was running the same exact offense,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was boring to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And teams are slowly starting to integrate more of the college game into it, and difference here or there. But at that time, it was check down, check down, check down, maybe one deep throw, check down, check down, check down. And it was boring. And that's what the NBA is now. Dribble, 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 see what's there, dribble, 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 shoot. And it's boring. And
Not
when
entertaining.
when you got teams that are chucking up 30, 40 3-pointers a game and making 10, it's not enjoyable to watch.
What were the Magic the other night? 9 of 20, 9 of 33 or something?
Oh, something like that. I think when they played, I think it was Utah,
It was
and they
bad,
were
bad.
they were just terrible.
Because I believe you sent me
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna try to pull it up
screenshot of
because
those stats.
yeah, I'm see if I know I've got it somewhere. It was god awful, and that was the game that Utah just went nuts. Um, yeah, they were 2 for 23.
Yeah, keep shooting, jackass.
2 for 23. Sorry, dude. If it doesn't work the first 15 times, do something else. And
Mm.
I don't know if that's a product of the coach, if that's a product of the players, but if it's not working, Go somewhere else.
You know what it is? They're tanking.
They don't need to try to tank.
They're gonna super tank. They're insurance tanking. They're gonna make sure they're like 10 games below everybody else.
Well,
For
I think
in for who?
yeah. Well, that's part of the problem. I mean, with the Magic, they draft somebody, and by the time he becomes decent, going into his second contract, and he wants out of Orlando, and he becomes good somewhere else. Oladipo comes to mind,
Hmm.
and
This because this city really has nothing to offer. Like
no,
it's the mouse, some restaurants, a couple shitty clubs, and then as soon as you go outside the city, it's just swamp.
well, and I hate to kind of boil it down to that, but that's kind of true. The nightlife scene in Orlando is not good.
No, I mean I'm
It's
sure
just,
it might be better for these guys because they have more money, but like I don't know.
but
Not
there's no real
special.
place to go. I mean, I've been to some of the clubs downtown, and they're not what these players are expecting. They're not what they're used to. And
No,
as
absolutely.
stupid as it is, there's something to that.
Well, yeah, these guys want to do something after the game too.
Yeah,
Most of their games, especially in Orlando, are over by what 9:30.
9:30, 10 o'clock, they're over.
Yes. What the hell? They got to want to go do something.
Yeah, and you
What are they
need
gonna
to
do?
cut.
Go to Wawa and get a sub?
Woohoo! You can't go to Disney at 11 o'clock at night.
No.
So there's nothing, and there really is nothing to do.
Beach is an hour and a half away.
Yeah. So I mean, as stupid as it sounds, James Harden is not coming to Orlando
They messed up.
because
They put the wrong team in Orlando. They should put it. Should put it in Tampa.
hey,
They would have had something to do it. No, I'm serious. They go to
yeah,
Ybor City. There's stuff to do down there.
yeah.
Might have some free agents.
Hey man, there's a good casino down there.
I've been. That's my first time playing poker in a
Yeah,
casino.
yeah. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not horrible.
I went there with $200. Went down to $20. Left with $200.
As long as you leave with the money that you expected to leave with, it's all
Yeah,
good.
I paid $0 to play poker for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, great. That was a wonderful experience.
I'll go down there with 200 or 300 bucks, and I go, you know what, this is my entertainment for the night.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
If I blow through it, I'm like, okay, I'm out. I'm gonna go watch the game. If I go up, even better.
Second hand, I got a pair of kings and felt pretty good about them, and it got absolutely crushed.
Yeah,
Absolutely crushed. Lost like $120, something like that. I was like, mm.
and you know what? I bet you lost the next hand too.
I folded it.
Yeah,
I was like,
because
nope,
it kills
nope.
your confidence.
But
It
yeah,
just
I will. That's the thing. I even if I have cards, I folded pairs before after a hand like that. But like, nope,
oh yeah,
I'm just gonna take a
yeah,
minute.
because you need a minute to calm down, and I think and
Yeah,
to bring it full circle, I think that's what Gonzaga needed. They needed a moment
absolutely.
to kind of get back, just to get right,
Telling
and they
you,
didn't have that.
there's so much that can be said for taking a step back and taking a deep breath.
Yep. And somebody brought it up to me the other day, or actually, this morning. If Michigan doesn't have their worst game of the season against UCLA, if they hit a couple more free throws, if they hit a shot here or there, and they play Gonzaga instead, okay, they're not beating Gonzaga. Don't get me wrong, but if Michigan beats UCLA, has just a better game, and plays Gonzaga, and Gonzaga beats them by 12 or 14 points, do they beat Baylor?
I don't know.
I mean that's
I
how
don't
much
know.
that's how much mental this game is.
Absolutely. Well, if they put UCLA away at the end of overtime, it might have been a different story.
Yeah.
Or at the end of regulation, excuse me, and not let it go into overtime. It might have been a different story.
Hmm.
But yeah, once you flip that emotional switch on to and then to have an ending like that,
Yeah.
geez.
Yeah. And it was a great game. Don't get me wrong, it was a fantastic game. I know you and I went back and forth on social media about this earlier. It was, I would say, probably top 15 game of all time. But these people that were saying it was the greatest basketball game of all time have never really watched basketball.
No, not of all time.
No.
But my whole thing was, I don't think I don't like the fact that like championships or accolades have to be tied into a great game conversation. That's all I was trying to get a point across. It's like, um, it it could be in the YMCA, and if they go at it hard enough, go to a double overtime game, make amazing shots, trade buckets, like overcome foul trouble. If that could be one of the greatest games I've ever seen. Michael Jordan doesn't have to be involved.
No,
You know what I mean? Like it could be anybody. So that was my whole thing in my conversation is like greatness doesn't isn't based on the necessarily like the accolades that come with the people involved.
I will say this, that a great game doesn't necessarily have to have a legacy. The LSU Texas A&M game that was a few years ago that went 6 or 7 overtimes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great game. It's not the greatest game. To me, the greatest game has to have some type of legacy that goes along with it. But a great game doesn't necessarily need to have that.
When we're talking about games, I just look at the game in that just that time period
And and,
from tip off to the final bucket.
and that's fair. But again, to me, it's a different conversation. Great game versus greatest game. Okay, one of the greatest games of all time, like wide right one, when Florida State missed a field goal against Miami. Great game, fantastic game, one of the best games, greatest games of all time. I would not put that up with Texas USC because that game had bigger legacies, it had more stakes to it.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but I just don't factor those in. The competition and how the game plays out is enough for me. I don't really look at did they go to the championship? Was it for this? Was it for that? I just how competitive was it? What happened in the game? That's where I judge it.
Fair
And so
enough.
that's how I see it could slide into the greatest because it's just about that specific competition in my head.
Okay. Well,
I'm
let
not
me put
saying that specific game was the
no,
greatest, but I'm just saying how we can talk about a game that doesn't have championship or conference implications could be possibly be the greatest game you've ever seen. That's what I'm arguing. That's all.
okay. Name me a great game off the top of your head, great game that did not have conference or national championship implications.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here.
Well,
Jeez.
that's what I do.
Um, I don't know. I've seen plenty of basketball games that like Syracuse Villanova games in the middle of the season where that have been great.
But this is my point when you get into great and greatest. So the fact that you don't remember like the details takes away from the game because the stakes aren't as high. I'm sure you can tell me the details of the Villanova North Carolina game 5 years ago.
I remember Chris Jenkins hitting that shot for sure.
I remember two things from actually three things from that, but the Chris Jenkins shot at the end, absolutely. The
Yeah,
Marcus Page scissor kick shot right before that. I will remember
I
to the
remember
day
that
I
one.
die.
I remember that shot.
Yeah, and then I believe it was Marcus Page a few plays earlier, bringing them from 6 to 3.
Whatever happened to him?
Again, it's one of these. Did he fall into the wrong system? Because the guy was a shooter.
Yeah, and shooting guards are all the rage now. The
Yeah, I mean, if you can shoot, you should be able to play in the NBA.
Allen Iverson would be like the top point guard in the league again right now. like
Yeah, yeah,
this whole league is made for him.
yeah. Well, I heard a conversation the other day of, can you name a player if you just said go, like Minnesota's doing with Anthony Bennett right now? If you just said go, that could score 20 points in the NBA,
At what position? Any position?
any position.
Well, Giannis, of course.
Yeah.
Giannis has got the 20. James, KD, all the big names, of course.
Okay. But it's not just the big names though. I mean, if you gave Fournier just the green light to just do whatever they
Yeah,
what
they
the
can
heck,
pretty much all do it.
yeah. So anybody can shoot.
Yeah.
So a guy like Marcus Page who can shoot and score, there was a place in this league for that.
Maybe it's the defense. Maybe his defense was terrible. Maybe I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay, name 10 defenders in the NBA. Like I'm dead serious. Name the top first team, second team, all NBA defense.
Well, blocking shots and Bede's probably up there.
Gobert.
Gobert, yeah, those two. So I mean, that's one position though. We're in trouble here already.
Yeah. This is my point.
Draymond Green is probably at power forward, I'd say.
Maybe.
All defense.
But this is my point. No one plays defense either. Going back to the shitty game, like no one plays defense. It's all dribble, 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 shoot.
Yeah.
And it's not even dribble, dribble, shoot quality shot. It's dribble, 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 shoot my shot, whether it's a good quality shot or not.
I feel like we're. I feel like this is something Dorian would be animated about, and he's not here.
Maybe if it wasn't stealing boxes.
Yeah. I think he would be. I think he'd be animated about this conversation.
Oh, I'm sure he would be. And it's a shame he's not here. I'm hoping he joins. But yeah, it's just the the last team that really the last two teams that really moved the ball were the Spurs and the Warriors, and that was it.
Yeah.
And there's no ball movement in the league at all.
No, I mean, only by necessity.
Yeah,
Like, I can't do anything with it. Throw it.
yeah, and it's just a bad product to watch. And I was hoping that a guy like Brad Stevens comes into the league and can instill that college kind of small college game into the league. And the Celtics are just bad. And
I'm watching them right now be bad.
I don't know why they're so bad. Because they've got the talent to be good, but they're just bad.
Yeah, they do not look good tonight.
And it makes me wonder because they started falling apart the second half of the year that Kyrie was there. And I know Kyrie took a lot of crap from me and everyone else, but was it just the unraveling of the rest of the team as well?
I don't know. It seems mental when you got all that physical talent out there. So
Yeah.
it's either a system or people not buying into something.
And could that be Stevens? Could that these guys just don't like Stevens?
You'd hate to think so. He's one of the better young coaches out there. Well, he was.
Yeah. But I think the bloom's off that rose.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
No.
Thumbs down.
And they're what, like sixth in the standings right now?
Not positive. They just had him up on TV too.
And it's I know this year is all kind of wackadoo. I mean, especially with the Knicks actually being good, kind of throws things out. But
they're seventh. They're 500, okay. 25 and 25.
Okay, so they're in the play-in game right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Knicks.
Yeah, the Knicks fell. And this is the curse of Sandlot sports. When we say that you're good, you fall apart. So
yeah.
I apologize to all Knicks fans. We called you out the other week, and this is what happened.
And I said Julius Randle was looking good, so he's probably due for a slump. Sorry guys.
Yeah, it's our fault.
If anybody's listening to New York, we're sorry.
Well, in general, if there are any Knicks fans, we apologize now, and we apologize for jinxing your team. So
the Magic got some work to do. They have to lose a few games.
Yeah, that's the thing. You said they were tanking, but I believe they're like fourth or fifth worst record.
Yeah, they got work to do.
Yeah,
that's why they're jacking up threes like that with people that can't shoot them.
Well, that's the thing. They couldn't shoot them all year. Even before the trades, they couldn't shoot threes.
Well, now they really can't. So I think they should keep shooting them.
Just pull up from like midcourt. Just be done with it.
They should go full Jacksonville Jaguar. Tank for sunshine.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I saw a thing from the team yesterday that they only had 8 healthy players, and 2 of them were out with non-COVID symptoms.
Mm.
And they were just like, well, it's a stomach bug. Yeah, sure it is.
Stomach bug. Jeez.
A stomach bug of bad pizza.
Yeah, I know, right? What are you going to do with this COVID thing? It's going to keep affecting sports to where they can kind of manipulate it to their advantage.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, with the vaccinations, I mean, things are kind of ramping back down. And that, like, I even Orange County is saying that by July, the mask mandates may be gone. So if the mask mandates are gone, then I'm sure the crowds will be back. Um, and I see it being an excuse for the baseball season. Hey, weird COVID things, we couldn't do it. But by the next NBA season and by the NFL season, I don't see it being an excuse that people are going to
Shoot.
buy.
Did you see that Rangers game the other day with 36,000 people in the stadium?
Yep.
Texas, baby.
Yeah. And everything's bigger in Texas, including our infections.
Yes. Yes. And power outages.
Yep.
Huge power outages.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you saw what happened yesterday in San Diego with Tatis.
No, I don't think I did.
So the $400 million man went to swing and take the cover off the ball and try to hit it so hard, missed and dislocated his shoulder.
He swung his own shoulder out,
Swung his own shoulder out.
blew his own self up. Mm.
Like how do you swing that hard?
Yeah, you only have to hit it like 330 feet. You don't have to hit
Yeah.
it 500 every time.
No.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
I'm pretty sure if you can hit it 500, if you put a solid swing on it, you can hit it four.
yeah. You don't have to be Giancarlo Stanton every single time. Just make contact. I
My
mean,
favorite, my favorite was Vladimir Guerrero. He looked like a twisted up rubber band every time he hit.
and he looked like he was playing golf.
Yes. And he just,
He did not care if it was on the dirt or not.
and then not to mention he had one of the best arms I've ever seen. I don't watch a ton of baseball, but one of the best defensive arms I've ever seen in baseball.
Oh
Holy crap.
yes.
From the outfield, it's like a laser.
He would go from right field to third base and throw people out consistently. It was insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Balls 6 feet off the ground the whole way.
Yep.
Jeez.
He probably could have played football, but why?
Yeah, really. Really.
I mean, there's less contact. The contracts in baseball are guaranteed and make more money. Yeah,
I was like Vlad, and he stayed up there in Montreal for years too. So
yeah. Him and Larry Walker.
Larry Walker, I know him from the Rockies.
Yep. Yeah,
Played third base with Andres Galarraga, and who else is out there? There's one
uh,
more big name out there that I remember. I should remember.
I can't remember the Rockies in the
Oh
90s.
no. Jeez, that's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll remember it once
There's
we log off.
there's one more big bat out there that I'm forgetting. Mm.
Yeah, but I remember. I think I want to say Walker actually made the Hall of Fame from his time
Did
at the
he?
Rockies. I think so. If not, he was up for it. And so, and and making the Hall of Fame as a Rocky, to me, it's a little skewed. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still good, but your numbers are going to be slightly inflated because you're playing in course field. The ball just carries a little differently.
Todd Helton.
Ah,
There we go. That's not fair, man. They got us. Everybody, the whole uh, division goes out there. The whole conference goes out there. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, they're there the whole season, but like everybody gets to go hit there.
yeah, but not everyone gets to go hit their 82 games a year or
Well,
81 games a year.
stretch the fence another 6 feet or something. I don't know, but I don't like the asterisk because of geography.
Hey, look, to me, it's not an asterisk. It's just if you're in, you're in.
So now we got to put an asterisk next to Florida sports because we're all down here breathing like 20% water.
Yes.
I'm so
Well,
scared. I'm so scared to go to the desert. Every membrane in my head is gonna bleed.
oh God, when I go to Vegas, like I have to just make sure I stay completely hydrated. Otherwise, my skin just looks like I'm Skeletor.
We're basically salamanders down here. We have like a slimy coat on us. Like you take a shower and you come out of the house and you just sweat instantly.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just you're just reestablishing your coat.
yeah. Somebody asked me like what it's like to live in Florida. I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you. Put your towels in the washer. When they come out, put them in the dryer on high. Put it put them on for like 10 minutes. Open the dryer and stick your head in. That's
Yeah,
what Florida's like.
Good one. That's a good one. I always give them the when you're at home, do you sweat when you come out of the shower? And they're like, no. I said, well, you do down here.
Yes.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter the temperature either.
No.
Doesn't matter the temperature of the shower. It's just the atmosphere reconnecting with you. That's all it is.
Well, and there were days, obviously when I was going to the office pre-COVID, where I would get off work at 4 o'clock. From the time I walked from the office to my car, I'd be sweating, and I'm not horribly out of shape.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
just sweating from the humidity, and it's just bad. And that's why, like, you would see teams like New England, come down to Miami and play,
Early in the season and just
and
die out there.
they just can't do it.
Yeah, if I
And
was
and that's why whenever like Miami or Jacksonville have decent teams, so back in the olden days, teams just could not play down here. I think it
no,
was Miami had a 20 year opening home
it was something like
winning
that.
streak
Yeah.
because teams just couldn't play down here.
We can barely play down here.
Yeah,
When we were kids, much less now.
yeah. Oh God, I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to play flag football, in the summer.
Did I tell you I played tackle football when I was 35?
You're a dumbass.
It hurt.
I'm sure.
I didn't tackle anybody. I was like, I'm gonna play cornerback. I'm not qualified to play cornerback, but that's what I'm gonna do.
I don't play the Deion Sanders version of quarterback cornerback. I'm gonna cover, and I'm not going to tackle.
Not that fast, not that good at covering either. I just wasn't gonna tackle.
It's just not gonna do it.
I was gonna be tall and not tackle.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
it.
no, it's not pleasant. You know.
No. Mm-mm. I've had 3 concussions and 2 of them were from Sandlot football.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I've had more than that, but I'm just because I'm a clumsy dumbass.
Mm. It was fun though. It was fun to do it again. It was my
Oh, I'm
send off, and
oh,
it
I'm
was on
sure.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was my send off. I was like, nope,
See,
that's it.
and, and that's what I like about having kids is that you can still kind of get the hey, let's go out and play football and whatnot. Don't worry about tackling because that's
Yeah.
just not going to work. But I can go out and I can play sports
What?
with my kids.
You got to go out there and practice your stiff arm. Okay, you got to get that head. Bam, get out.
Yeah, and
Bam.
give them the Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Yes.
But
If you don't lift them off their feet, you aren't doing it right.
no, no, you got to do it right.
Yeah, absolutely. Poor little necks.
Hey, I've got a 10-year-old now, so I mean she's getting up there. She can play.
Oh, she can take a stiff arm. It's time. It's time. You got to make you have to make sure your neck is properly formed.
That's right. So and she likes soccer, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll play, I'll play a game with you. And afterwards, she's like, I'm gonna go practice over there now.
Mm, yeah, I don't remember us doing a whole lot of soccer in Adam.
So better than a 10-year-old.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how that would go for me. I got pulled out of soccer.
Well, because you thought it was the other football.
No, it's because a kid kicked me in the nuts, so I went down to the other end of the field and kicked him back in the nuts.
Well, it's retaliation.
Retaliation is a must. Ask the Ghetto Boys.
Exactly.
It's just all it is. He kicked me in the nuts. So, side note, one of the funniest things I've ever seen from a coach's kid, because I love coach's kid stories. They're my favorite. They're some of my favorites. The coach's kid, they were trying to practice headers. And so he goes, I'm going to have my son come up here and show you how to do headers. He throws his son the ball. His son breaks his damn nose on the soccer ball. Blood shoots down his shirt. I was in second grade, could not contain my laughter.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm 40 years old now. If I saw that, I probably wouldn't contain my laughter.
I understood that moment then. It's like, you're supposed
Yeah.
to know how to do this. You suck. Oh my God. That's a great one.
So I actually saw the trailer for Space Jam 2.
I don't care. I don't care about it. Are we gonna force our listeners to listen to this shit?
Yes.
Are you gonna watch this? Are you gonna take your kids to see this?
No. No.
Have you
And
have you showed them the original?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And to that end, I don't remember Michael Jordan ever needing Superman to win a basketball game. I don't
No.
remember Michael Jordan needing the Iron Giant to win. I remember that he won with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. He didn't need Superman. He didn't need Gandalf.
Are you telling me they changed the cartoon characters?
Well, there was a clip in the trailer where he's listing off the people that he needs, and he says he needs in the clip Superman, Gandalf, Iron Giant, and I forget the fourth one.
It's got to be a joke about him picking. I think it's a joke about him picking teams. You can't take Daffy and Bugs out of there, and
Oh,
Babs and stuff.
oh yeah, Daffy and Bugs are still there. Yosemite Sam is still there with his guns, so cancel culture isn't a thing.
I'm telling you, they take Yosemite Sam gun. This Earth could get hit by a meteor the next day. Fuck this whole place. Dorian, you came back right in time. You
Yes.
came here right in time to hear that. Welcome. Do
What's
you
up,
want?
guys?
Let me catch you up. If they take Yosemite Sam's guns, I hope a meteorite hits this place.
Well, that's the thing though. When I said that for a reason. So when they did the reboot of Looney Tunes on HBO Max, they let Yosemite Sam have dynamite, but not guns.
What? What? What?
Well, first off, let's establish who Yosemite Sam is. Who is this guy? Like, what is he? Like, some people consider him to be some, rootin' tootin' cowboy.
He
You
is.
got some who consider him to be a, well, can I say it, conservative? I mean, I don't know. I've I've
He
seen
is a
so many
conservative
theories.
icon, yes.
So I've seen so many stories on Yosemite Sam. But yeah, BJ, I think BJ is right. If they got rid of Yosemite Sam, you'll see a lot of people in uproar.
Oh,
Whoever
you already
cre-
did. You
whoever
don't remember
created
the
this can end it.
yeah.
Hey, Dorian, Adam said the NBA is a shit product.
um, eh, I'll say
See,
this, man.
he's stuttering. He
Dang.
knows I'm not
Hey,
wrong.
NBA, NBA, if you're listening because we're saying your name and you're probably going to listen because we said your name. Um, Dorian's one of your defenders and he's thinking over here. He's about to agree with Adam that you have a shit product.
Look, man. I'll just say that the NBA has changed over the years.
Soft.
Do I like where it's going? No. I do have hope that it'll get better.
Hope is not a strategy.
Adam said it's not going back. Never, ever, ever.
It's this okay. This is what I'm thinking, right? So as far as the NBA and the direction that it's going, it's like the question has to be asked first off, like where are we heading as far as development of our players?
There is none.
That's
We
one,
talked about that too.
right.
There
And
is
then
none.
B, the other question is too, it's like, you know, if because as we saw the NCAA tournament, and for the most part, though, we had some solid games, so those players, how those players are going to translate against the future Luka Doncic of the world that's going to be coming from Europe, and eventually I really
Mm.
feel as if like it's all about development. How are we going to be able to develop our players to still be the number one best league in the world?
W- Did, were you listening to this or something?
I think he was. I think he was listening on the way in.
This is
I
creepy.
was trying to, but
This is creepy.
uh but so that's my thing, because again, in past episodes we talked about it, and it's like if you watch the modern NBA game,
Garbage.
and let's say if you take a like a Spanish league or an Italian league game, the athleticism may not be there, but as far as the beautiful play, as far as the back screens, the the 3-point shooting, the
The shot
actual
selection.
Setting
shot
people up.
selection, exactly. I'm torn, man. Like I'm kind of scared actually, because I was watching who was it? I think it was one of, I forgot what the two teams name, but it was two teams. They were playing out of the Spanish league, and I was watching their games, and it was beautiful to watch, man. Like as far as the setting of screens, the actual like the passing, like even their big men were like the 3 point, well, not only shooting 3 pointers, but it's just a matter of the game just seems as if in Europe they're starting to catch up slowly, because all it takes is a couple of young European players to get that athleticism, and we're starting to see that in France. I'm starting to see a lot of athletic Frenchmen, you know. So all it takes, so if we get those athletic players and we take them from Europe and they come to the United States, I'm just hoping that they don't come over and embarrass us.
I
And that's where I can
I
see.
It's
I can tell
happening.
you how it's going to change. I can tell you right now how it's going to change. You take a successful European coach, put him on a team that wants to be coached, and bring that system over of ball movement, of screens, and when that becomes successful, that's how it's going to change. I know they tried that with David Blatt, and then LeBron took over the team, and the
Yeah,
rest is history. So I don't know if they're going to bring a European coach over anytime soon, but I think that's how it's going to change.
yeah.
It's going
I was gonna say, and BJ, you chime on this question. So do you think a European, so let's say you take the top European coach out of like the Spanish league, right? And you bring him to the Orlando Magic, right? And let's say the
Don't
Orlando
do that to
Magic,
him. Don't do that to him. He'll have no support. The franchise won't give a
Dorian's
shit what's
just
going
cursed
on.
the
Don't.
NBA.
I
And
know.
you
God,
just said that David Black
don't.
caused problems. So
I was just talking about jumping off the Magic's boat. We were just talking about that. I can't do this shit anymore. They're garbage.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm there with you, but a part of me is like, do you think it'll click in the DeVos family's mind? Like, hey, you know what?
no,
If they
you're
bring the
you just
Sonics
said
back,
that
I'm
the DeVos
leaving.
family to think, and there's your first problem.
If they bring the Sonics back, I'm leaving.
I think
So,
it's
but
headed that
okay,
way, man.
but Dorian, you have a good scenario. So you got a team like the Magic. Doesn't necessarily have to be the Magic, but like the Magic, that's going to have a lot of draft picks, a lot of young talent. You bring over a coach that can coach that ball movement style of offense.
You have to say Magic similar to the Magic in assets, because if they're similar to the Magic, they're gonna fucking suck.
Yes, well, that's
Yeah,
what I mean. In
Okay,
terms of
in
draft picks
assets, yes.
and young
Okay, yes.
talent,
Fine. There we
and
go.
that has not been set in their ways, you bring a coach over like a Blatt or someone else that can teach that ball movement and stress it. That's how it's going to change.
yeah, I agree. But again, but like,
Popovich is here and stresses ball movement though, and
uh,
they're still one of the few teams in the league that actually moves the ball consistently.
Yeah, because no one listens to any other coach in the league. And I don't mean this kind of glib, but I kind of do. Name me five NBA coaches other than Popovich.
He's on a listing tonight. He's killing it.
Well, we got nothing else, but
We got
na-
nothing. It's a rough week.
yeah,
yeah.
We also have a Final Four hangover.
Oh man.
yeah,
I
Dorian,
mean,
you missed that. So the question earlier was, if Michigan has a better game against UCLA and beats them, does Gonzaga beat Baylor? Because if Michigan beats UCLA, Michigan plays Gonzaga, doesn't take them to overtime, doesn't go on that emotional roller coaster. Gonzaga's up for the Baylor game. Do they beat Baylor?
I don't know. And the reason why is like, well, Baylor, how they shot the ball, I was impressed. I knew they can shoot, but it was like a clinic out there. It's like pick your poison from what's the player named Flagler, Jared Butler, and I can't think of the other guy, but
Yeah,
it's like
Davian Mitchell is just
yeah, David Mitchell,
phenomenal.
right? Yeah, so it's kind of like pick your poison. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but it just seemed as if I think that Gonzaga was punched in the mouth. I
Yeah,
think Gonzaga came in there thinking like, hey, you know what? People already picked us to beat these guys. So let's just show up and see what happens. Baylor came in like, hey, all of America against us. Like, go on ESPN, go on CBS, and look at the tournament brackets. Everybody is picking us to lose. Let's punch them in the fucking mouth. And that's what they did.
yeah.
It was
Everyone has a
crazy.
plan to take a punch in the mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, so I don't know. I think that Michigan probably would have uh I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
and I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Michigan beats Gonzaga. That's far and away. What I'm saying is, if Michigan doesn't have just a horrible game against UCLA,
Mhm.
that was their worst game of the season.
Right.
If they beat UCLA, play Gonzaga, Gonzaga beats them by 10 or 12 points, like they probably
Mhm.
should have.
Yeah.
They don't have that emotional high of one of the greatest games of all time and having to come back and 2 days play for the title.
Yeah. But
Because
this
you're right. Baylor came out and
Mhm.
punched him in the mouth, and by that time it was 9-0, and the game was already over.
Yeah. So the question to ask is, how much of it is Mark Few's fault?
I would say probably 20%. I roughly 20-25%. Because you're right that that's on the coach to get them up for it. But also as a player, if you're not up and prepared to play in the championship game, that's
Mhm.
kind of on you.
Yeah. And so okay, so it begs another question. So
Coaches don't have anything to do with when their team gets physically bullied.
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, like the coach. That's not Mark Few's fault. No, it's not Mark Few's fault. Those guys got sunned in the paint.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it really isn't. Like, what's he gonna do? He can't make them eat their Wheaties. He can't make. He can't make. What all he can do is try to piss them off. Call him over on the sideline, and be like, "That dude's kicking your ass
Yeah.
every time down the floor." That's all he
Yeah.
can do. And if that doesn't, if the guy's physically outmatched, all he can do is foul
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, somebody on ESPN asked an interesting question, and is this COVID's fault? Okay, because of COVID, Baylor and Gonzaga did not play earlier in the year. The game got canceled. If that game happens and the same two teams meet in the title game, does Few take any notes from that game and try to make appropriate adjustments? Is there any
him.
adjustment he can make?
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. You can't.
Okay.
I don't know. That's from a movie. I don't know what movie that's from, but that's I love that quote. Um, like, look, you can't make your guys bigger in 2 months. You're not going to make them stronger. You're not going to make them have the mentality that these guys aren't going to out rebound me. It's just not going to happen. They got bullied in the paint.
That's true, but we've also talked about that in 2007 when the Giants lost to the Patriots in Week 17. They took away something that they were able to use in the Super Bowl. So does that experience matter?
I mean, it could, but also too, it's like it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat a team twice
If
in
Yeah,
somebody's
just about any league.
if you're getting dominated in the paint, though, you have to hit shots.
Yeah.
They didn't hit shots.
yep.
So like,
Yeah. But
like
even on defense,
you,
though, I didn't see Gonzaga contest a lot of 3-pointers. It's kind of like you said, Adam. It seems if they was on that emotional high,
there's
and
two
it kind
different
of drained
levels,
them.
two different levels of energy out there that night.
Yeah.
Baylor
Yeah.
was in this. My whole life depends on this, and Gonzaga's like, I
Right.
already gave up my life.
Right.
And that was something that we talked about earlier is like the Duke Kentucky game from 92 or 90, it was 92.
Mhm.
Okay, that game was in the Elite 8. When Duke came back, they had 4 or 5 days to reset.
Yeah.
Gonzaga had 24 hours, and there's something to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. I definitely
You
see where you're
ever
coming from.
you ever get really excited, like really really excited? Like a couple hours later, it's nap time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's hard to recover from that.
Yeah.
yeah, and don't get us wrong. We're not saying that's why Gonzaga lost,
No, we're
but
just
it's
saying
a
that
contributing factor.
I think it's hard to recover that edge that quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, also too, I really do believe that narrative played a part in it too, because I'm sure, like, especially me playing on a team that we're going up against like the top team in the state or something like that. I know how it feels to have that edge, like, oh, these motherfuckers say that they really gonna beat us like that.
Yeah,
So like I saw that in the way that Bailey was playing.
Baylor was
They were
playing the
playing like
hustle,
beat
the
us. Right.
aggression,
Exactly.
up in your face, like on defense. Yeah, like
Exactly.
they were
Exactly.
proving something. Gonzaga's like, what the hell is this?
Exactly.
and that goes back to if they played earlier in the season.
Mhm.
Baylor punches Gonzaga in the mouth early in the season. Gonzaga then comes in with that chip on their shoulder.
Right. But I think if they would have played earlier in the season, I think that Gonzaga would have beaten them. So I think I think Gonzaga would have beaten them, and I think again I think that edge would have went to Baylor. And again, it's all about narratives. If you look
Yeah,
at social media, ESPN, they pretty much anointed Gonzaga to be this year's national championship because they were saying, oh yeah, Duke's out of it. Kentucky's out of it. North Carolina's out of it. This is Gonzaga's year to win it. So you being a player on the other side, you're like, did you guys not see who we played and who we beat? Did you guys not see how good we are? So you guys are going to just anoint this team to beat us, right? Because you guys want to anoint Mark Few as this. Again, he is a good coach, but him winning that championship, they would have put him in that upper echelon of college coaches that won a championship with considerably a mid-major. I don't know if Gonzaga is still considered a mid-major, are they?
They still play in the West Coast Conference. That's still a mid-major.
Baylor took it personal, like Michael Jordan.
Right.
I took that shit personally.
I took that shit personally.
Absolutely. I was just impressed how they were able to hit those shots they did. Like they were like whatever shot they wanted, they got. And I'm like is any like Jalen Suggs? You're supposed to be this, number one, top 3, top 5 prospect. Like where the ball's at, bro? Like,
well, and that goes back to that emotional roller coaster. So you coming off again one of the greatest games of all time, probably top 15 game of all time. Mm-hmm. Jalen Suggs hits that, starts talking about how he had always wanted to be like Dwayne Wade and Kobe, jump on the table. Basically, childhood dream. Shot it from the star. It looked like NBA Live shoots it from the star. Mm-hmm. You're trying to come down from that. You get punched in the mouth in the first minute, and then you pick up 2 early fouls.
Yeah.
And your mind is just out of it.
Yeah. So would you say that those 2 early fouls are because he is a freshman? You think that was just like a diaper dandy mistake, or?
Well, I definitely think at least one of them was. I think one of the offensive fouls I think was just him trying to be too aggressive, not taking the moment as it comes to him, but trying to take the moment. And part of that might have been the shot. Part of that might have been the narrative of hey, look, I am Kobe. No, you're not. So it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
I think it was Yogi Berra that said 90% of this game is 50% mental, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love Yogi Berra quote. I love him. I don't know how you beat him.
Yeah.
It ain't over till it's over. Thank you, Yogi. We were wondering.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are too young to know who Yogi Berra was, look him up.
Don't explain it to them. If they don't take the time to look it up, fuck them. Yogi Berra quotes, you should know. You probably say one of them in your life regularly.
Yeah. Wow, exactly.
Got to explain Yogi Berra to people. Just kill me. Get it over with. I'm done. Gee,
it's crazy.
We're getting old, guys.
Oh, tell me about it.
We got to explain stuff that was common knowledge at our age bracket to other people.
Yeah.
Dude, my kids think that John Madden's doing a football game and a football video game.
Yeah.
Well, do they know? Nobody describes a 3-yard run better than John Madden.
Yeah. Yeah. So question, since we're speaking of football, did you guys talk about the draft yet, or
we touched on it? I know we were kind of going back and forth, and I don't know how much you saw. I sent a mock from, I want to say it was NFL.com, that had the first 4 picks being quarterbacks. Kyle Pitts, going to Cincinnati and have his career ruined.
Dying.
Quiddy Pay going to Dallas and BJ in tears.
We don't need a role player.
Yeah, so I mean, I know you guys heard what Dan Orlovsky.
I don't care. Anyways, go ahead.
He ran out of the back of the end zone twice in his career, and he wants to have an opinion on something. Shut up,
man. So okay, so we could definitely speak on this. So when it comes to work ethic, right? So it's like, who determines who has the best work ethics or not?
White people. So naturally, white people have the best work ethic. Haven't you noticed?
No. They had the biggest motors.
I love putting Dorian in positions for him not to be able to say anything.
I know what you're trying to do, and I'm like, I'm like, Adam, somebody save me. So I don't.
Hey, I'm gonna go back to another ESPN guy. I'm gonna go back to Mike Golick Sr. And he starts talking about work ethic, and you hear, well, no one works harder than Caesar. No, no one knows that. Shut up.
Exactly. You don't know that. Like, are you like? Are you in this man's room when he's looking at playbooks? Are you like, I don't. How do you judge somebody's work ethic? You'd have to be around them for so much time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were making claims that okay, so his throws in the Northwestern game, the
Wait,
two
hold
talking about
on,
Justin Fields.
hold on.
Right. Uh-huh.
We can talk about the performance thing, but that's not what you're really talking about.
Right.
What he said is he's a last in, first out kind of guy.
Yeah.
What if he's on his way to the hyperbaric chamber, bitch? Like,
Right.
are you going with him? Do you know what he's doing? Is he going to his trainer? Does he working out with a guy? Like, you don't know all this. That's what
And
Right.
bugs
you
me.
don't know what he's doing back in his
And
apartment. He
and he
could be
kept
studying the
saying,
playbook back in his apartment. Who
Right.
cares?
he kept saying, I'm
Right.
hearing. Who are you hearing it from? David Duke? Like, like we're look, look, our podcast is tiny, but I've already realized that we can't put words in people's mouths. I don't
Right.
talk to anybody. I don't know anybody famous, but
Right.
like we can't say they so like how, how if if we can't verify it was said, then we can't say somebody said it. So like
Right.
he shouldn't be able to say I'm
Right.
hearing, especially when you're talking about a basic character assassination. When it comes
Right.
to the quarterback position, you
Right.
can be lazy in a human. You just can't be lazy in a starting quarterback in the NFL. They're going to rake you over the coals.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you can say, hey, when he played tougher competition like
He,
Clemson,
he
like
folded. You can
Northwestern,
even talk
yeah,
shit. You can
yeah,
be like,
you can
you
say
can
that.
talk shit.
That's
Yeah.
fine. You can't talk about a guy's work ethic unless
No,
you physically know,
with
unless
him
you
all
were
the
there
time.
with him all the time. Because
And,
yes, if he's last in and first down, okay, fine. But
and,
what's he doing outside of it? Is
and
he
you're like,
studying the playbook? Is he bonding with his receivers? What is he doing?
you're like a
Right.
second tier analyst at NFL and ESPN. They probably fly you somewhere twice a year. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I again, I go back to I heard people saying today that Carolina's trade for Sam Darnold was an upgrade at quarterback. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong
Over
with you
who?
people?
Over
Over
who?
Teddy
Right.
Who?
Bridgewater.
No.
Oh man.
And there is a significant difference between Teddy Bridgewater and Sam Darnold.
Right.
And it goes back to the work ethic question that BJ was referring to earlier.
Oh Lord. It's
Clearly, Sam Darnold works harder. Clearly.
clearly right.
Clearly.
Exactly. And so okay, so here's the theory that that I heard floating around ESPN, that you have individuals who are assassinating Justin Fields' character so he would drop in the draft to like a Patriots or to like a team that needs a quarterback but don't have the assets to trade up to get one.
Okay,
So hey, you know what? Let's just
here's
assassinate.
what that is. Here's what that is. That
Mhm.
is the agents of these teams,
Yeah.
of the Patriots, of the Cowboys, not so much the Cowboys are going to take Fields, but teams that are later in the draft that are putting these out there, wanting it to get into the public so that
Mhm.
these guys drop and they get them cheaper. That's
Right.
what that is.
Yeah.
And ESPN and Fox and all these places that take the bait should be punished.
I agree.
What are you talking about? The Cowboys do that to their own players. You remember what they did to Dez?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
All of a sudden, they start leaking shit about Dez and his contract value. I was like, "Holy shit, Jerry, you ruthless piece of shit! You fucking hit crypt keeper!"
Hey, no one makes $1 billion ethically.
Yeah.
Uh,
No
but
one.
like, he's supposed to be your family. Like, this guy's bringing. He's a superstar. He's bringing money to your table, and like,
Mm,
that's what you want to do to him.
yeah.
Mm.
But
Tell
these
you,
owners,
I'll
they
tell
That
they
you.
feel the place
that's
are
what the
expendable.
season all is. You know,
I hate.
it's
I fucking hate managers. Managers cause most of the problems.
hey,
Yeah,
hey.
yeah. You hiring at him?
As a project manager, I know I get blamed for everything. So
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So overall, it's like, those agents of those teams who are doing that to players, you're costing them money. And then also too, it's like, dude, the assassination of the character isn't warranted. Yeah, okay. When Justin Fields played against Northwestern and those two interceptions he threw, one was his fault and the other one wasn't his fault, from what analysts are saying or whatnot. But still, it's like you said, AK, like, go after his play. If he played shitty, say he played shitty, but to say
Yeah.
that he's not working hard,
Yeah.
like, who are you to say a
That's
person
like
isn't working hard?
that's like blaming him for a divorce or something. Like, you don't know. You weren't living with him.
Well,
Right.
and
You don't know who's the crazy one here.
you see this every year, and it's not just Justin Fields. As
Right.
much as I want to pick on him, it's not him. The Wonderlic results are supposed to
Oh,
be private.
oh,
Those are supposed.
I hate when those leak out.
Yep,
Mhm.
Like, I know those aren't, man.
but those are supposed to be that's a private test. It's only supposed to go to management.
Right.
And somehow every year, a quarterback that's kind of on the bubble that scores poorly on the Wonderlic magically it gets out.
Yeah.
Why don't they just start saying he's dumb? Quit leaking out the Wonderlic test. Like, man up and say what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
If you're
Yeah.
gonna say it, say it. I'm
Okay,
so
are you
sick of
saying
this
Vince
shit.
Young was dumb?
They should say it if that's what they're trying to say. Say that to him. So when you got to face him in the football season and he scores 5 touchdowns on you because he's sick of you talking shit, like,
Right.
say it.
Right. That's
Be
the
a pussy.
equivalent of
I'm so
saying
sick of this shit.
like when they were speaking of Justin Fields, they said, "Oh yeah, I'm also hearing that Justin Fields is a one read quarterback." You're
You know
pretty
what,
much saying he
dude?
can't
Well,
play
no
quarterback.
shit. He played in the Ryan Day's offense. Of course,
Yeah,
he's a
no,
one-read
that's
quarterback.
probably accurate. Probably half of the first round quarterbacks that come out are one read quarterbacks now.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Pretty
that's not
flat
his
out.
fault. That's the
No,
fact that he plays for a coach that doesn't teach how to play quarterback.
exactly. Adam Gase. So I don't really. I'm gonna be honest with you. This whole Sam Darnold thing. We don't know enough about Sam Darnold. He's
Right.
been.
Yeah, we do. We've seen him
just a
play in
bunch-
USC. We know enough. We know he's hot garbage.
Hmm, there's a lot of guys that have not been that superstar in college that could have been decent in the NFL.
Are you
Okay,
referring to your guy, Tony Romo?
Tom
Romo was good
Brady.
in college.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Hey, Brady led Michigan to a New Year's Day game win over Alabama.
What
Oh, that's
Alabama?
right. What was that? That when Mike Shula was coaching, right?
Yeah, what Alabama?
Alabama that played in the Orange Bowl.
Just grasp, hold on to it, Adam, as tight as you can. Just hold on to it. Hold on to it.
Hey, up until
You're not going
Denard
to talk
Robin-
shit about this, BJ. This is not the one.
Hey, up until Denard Robinson's luck game against Virginia Tech, that was the last New Year's Day victory that Michigan's had. So,
Okay, okay, your house of cards. I can bring it all down. Appalachian State.
another great game that has a legacy, but didn't mean a damn thing.
Oh, it meant something. It fucked your recruiting up for a couple of years.
Couple years, we're still recovering.
Yeah, shit, that meant something. You're gonna remember that till the day you die. Last wish to be tattoo fuck Appalachian State on my forehead.
Speaking of Kyle Pitts, guys, what were your thoughts on Kyle Pitts?
I think he's
Detroit
going
needs to take
somewhere-
him.
he's
If
going
he's
some-
available, Detroit needs to
Why?
take him.
So he dies like he does in Cincinnati? He's just gonna go somewhere and die and rot. Y'all are gonna put him online and have him blocking as a tight end, which is not gonna work. You're not gonna use him properly.
I will say this, that Goff is not a great quarterback, so he needs receivers that are like right in front of him that can catch the ball.
Yeah.
And the tight end they have now, it's not Hickenlooper, that's the politician,
Yeah,
Hawkinson, and you put him opposite Pitts,
I
and
know
you
you
just
said he
get
played
them
with
running seams down the side, down the middle of the field.
Like that meme you sit with Rex Rose, fuck it. Just throw it.
Ying! Fuck it, I'm going deep.
You know what? That would be a
Hey, Jacksonville wishes they had
something.
Sexy Rexy. So
Hey,
Hey,
y'all
man,
bullshit.
listen.
Rex Grossman was one of the best punters in the NFL for a while. You just throw that bitch down there as far as he can and hope the receiver tackles him.
yeah, now it's Trace McSorley.
Yeah, solid.
Okay, so Rex Grossman did he take the Bears to that Super Bowl against?
Are you fucking
No,
kidding me?
no, that defense did. They got
Are
their
you
spade of
crazy?
him.
Dude, he Trent Dilford. He like discount Trent Dilford his way into that situation.
Oh shit! You said discount Trent Dilfer? Oh my
Discount
God.
Trent Dilfer. Not even like normal Trent Dilfer. Like if Trent Dilfer was if Trent Dilfer was vodka, Rex Grossman would be the plastic bottle McCormick.
Yeah, look it up. Trent Dilfer actually has statistically the worst year for a quarterback ever.
Dang. You said Grossman.
But yet we allow him to coach our young quarterbacks at the Elite 11. Why is Dilfer there? Where the fuck's Aaron Rodgers? Like, why is Dilfer teaching these guys?
Like, where's Peyton? So okay,
Yeah.
so you say that
So just to piggyback on that, so in
Yeah.
1995, Trent Dilfer started 16 games for the Bucks. Started 16
That's,
games.
you can't do his Bucks. You can't do the creamsicle Bucks stats. That's not fair to him. Creamsicle
He
Bucks are garbage. You
threw
can't do it.
4 touchdowns and 16
Don't do that to
interceptions.
Trent. That's not fair to Trent.
oh my,
We can joke about him.
he played a worse. So he had a worse year than Jamarcus Russell.
Creamsicle Bucks. Stop that. It's not fair. If the Bucks had the creamsicle jerseys, all stats are forgiven.
No, I think that year. I think that's when they transitioned into that wine
pewter.
red or whatever it is. Yeah.
Everybody talks about how great Hardy Nickerson won. He wasn't great. He was durable. He was on the field all fucking time. That's why he had so many tackles.
Hey, the best ability is durability.
That's what it was. He was just, I bet you if you counted the minutes that Hardy Nickerson played on the field, the closest linebacker to him would be 10 games behind.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Whoa, time to get 6 more tackles this drive.
Hey, it was the Chip Kelly offense, just didn't move the ball.
That offense, I'll tell you, man, when I gave
man.
those so much shit when they signed with the Eagles, I gave him so much shit, bro. It's so much shit. I was like, yes. He's like, what? I said, your offense is gonna suck. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, if you guys go 3 and out, you're screwed. I was like, and I was right.
I'm going to say this for any NFL coach or any football coach in general. If your offense adjustment is go faster, you
Yeah,
shouldn't be coaching.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. If you're losing, the best thing to not do is give the ball back to the other team. Whatever you do, don't do that, Chip. And then my favorite, the one I always rub in his face. There's a Cowboy game, his first or second year of the Eagles.
Well, you only coached 2, so it can only be the first
remember.
or second year.
I can't remember which one. Might have been the first one. Des Bryant torched this guy on a touchdown. Torched this guy on another touchdown. Bradley Fletcher. I'll never forget his name. Torched him. Chip left him on in the second quarter in the second half of the game with a close game. Des torched him for the game winner. Single coverage the whole time. I'm like, look, it's not working, Chip. It's really not working. Des is killing you. And you know Des, he's not like he's a different kind of wide receiver. He's a physical wide receiver. He's not going to blow by you. Des was smoking this cat. Right by him. I'm like, oh no. I was like, so I'm sitting here, I'm like texting Zoe. I was like, 3? He ain't going to change nothing. It's not changing anything.
He's shooting 2 for 23.
And I told him, I said, Zoe, boy, you better hope they get rid of him. You are in trouble. And I was right. Now, he'll tell you to this day, the best thing Chip Kelly did was evacuate all those contracts.
He's not wrong.
No, that's what the Eagles needed at that time, and Chip did that properly. And he actually set Peterson up pretty solid.
Yeah.
Now, did he set Peterson up, or was Peterson set up by Reich?
Oh, well, Reich wasn't a bridge between the two.
No, but Reich was the reason why they won the championship.
He set the Peterson regime up, and then Reich took advantage of it. And I told Zoe too. I said, "Boy, Frank Reich left. You're in trouble." No, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's crazy.
I love hating on the Eagles
because it's so easy.
It's so easy. It's like when I'm struggling everywhere else, I can always go back to the Eagles being garbage. Because I used to kill them before they won their Super Bowl. I'd be like, man, y'all haven't been relevant since Kennedy was alive.
My thing is, what are they going to do this year at quarterback, man?
I don't care.
Or Jalen Hurts?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing grumblings that they are looking for a quarterback to, I guess, challenge.
That's 2 division victories right there. I don't care what they do. I don't care what they do. What we need to figure out is what these Giants are going to do with Galladay and Thies McGee in the backfield.
Yeah.
What's Thies McGee's name? Saquon Barkley.
Saquon.
Yeah.
Thies McGee.
With Daniel Jones, I'm sure they'll fuck it up somehow.
Hopefully. That's my only hope.
Yeah.
And their offensive line is not good either.
No.
So maybe they shouldn't have spent money on Galladay. Maybe they should spend money on that line.
Hey. We've made this argument before.
Yeah, I know. And then you could have your good receiver on your shitty team, and you could kill another career.
So who do they have at receiver? Okay, they got Galladay and who's they got Sterling? Was it Sterling?
Sterling
Sterling Shepard.
Shepard.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard. Okay. Uh,
But again, we go back to your quarterback is not going to be good when he's throwing from his ass.
Yes, that's my hope. Right? The I almost said it again, Adam. The football team scares me more than anybody in that division.
With Heineken, I mean Heineke,
The defense, Chase
yeah,
Young's a beast. He's
Chase
he's a
Chase
legit,
Young's is
he's a
nasty.
legit beast.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if Lyle Collins is hurt again, our right tackle is a problem.
Mm.
That's my whining about the Cowboys. I'm all done.
Hey, weren't you all excited a couple of weeks ago when they signed Dak to that huge contract? You should be happy.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I'm glad they got him signed. It's just going to get restructured. I know it's going to happen. I told you it was going to happen. They started restructuring contracts in between the next show. I sent you articles about it. I'm not worried about that contract one bit. Jerry will fix it.
Yeah. How do you feel about them potentially drafting Patrick Surtain Jr.?
Love it.
That's a great pick.
Love it. That's a third of the field you don't have to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually looking at his highlights. He's solid.
Don't even worry about it. Just don't even worry about that side. He plays that D. He's got that D on defense where it's just don't. If we don't have to, we're not going over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like it when a son of a player, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, plays the same position as his father, because you know that they're getting tips from an all pro.
Tricks. Yep. And his friends and any dad's friends, any resource he can get his hands on. Hopefully.
They may not be as talented. Sometimes they're even more talented, but they may not be as talented, but they're getting the wisdom passed down to them.
Daddy's a Hall of Famer, isn't he?
Surtain?
Yeah.
I believe
I'm pretty
so.
sure Patrick Surtain's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
he is.
He's a heck of a quarterback. Mr. for the Dolphins.
Yep.
Yeah. I was reading about Asante Samuel Jr. and a lot of people are calling him the sleeper. As far as they said he's good, but they said no, like he's really, really good. They said whatever team picks him up, they're going to get like a bulldog of a freaking corner. But again, it did come from Todd McShay, so I don't know if that, rings.
Yeah, again, you got to look at where it's coming from, who's feeding him what information.
That is true.
And again,
you don't think they get used? I'd use them if I was a GM. I'd use Kuiper and McShay like a toy.
Oh yeah,
a toy. Like, oh, I really like Zach Wilson. I really like Zach Wilson. I just keep repeating it randomly throughout the conversation. Have no intention of going after a quarterback, but now he thinks I'm going after a quarterback, and he thinks I'm going after Zach Wilson.
Well, especially if you're picking high in the draft, and that's all it is. It's a big game of poker. Hey, I really want this guy. I don't really want him, but I want you to think I want him, so you trade up for him, and I get more picks. That's all it is.
Like if you're where the Cowboys are at 10, though, it makes perfect sense to play that game too, because it's logical to think that with a medium to mid-high asset, they could get up to the next few spots.
Yeah.
Not 1 or 2 or 3, but 4, 5, 6 with an asset and a pick, they could do it.
I could see, Dallas going, hey, we really like so-and-so. We really like so-and-so, and trying to trade up to maybe get Pitts. Because if he goes there, that's just scary.
I'll tell you what, it's scary, but I'll tell you what, Blake Jarwin did well. And it's not like we need tight end to be a 1 or 2 option. So as much as I would love Kyle Pitts, I'm just not sure if it's the best thing for the Cowboys to do.
Fair enough.
Do you think that the Cowboys, maybe in the later rounds, they may focus on getting another running back?
Oh, that they need to in the later rounds.
Yeah.
I like Tony Pollard. I don't know if you paid too much attention to him, but
I did.
No, the thing with Pollard that scares me from as a Cowboys fan, not that I am one, but is that he was actually good last year. That he was good when Zeke was out, which means that he's probably going to seek a deal here very shortly with a team that's not Dallas.
His time is up. He's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So to Dorian's point, you as a 5th, 6th rounder on a decent running back, and you can get good running backs in the 5th or 6th round.
But because Tony's still here, we're not in a gotta go do it mode.
No,
that'll be next year. Next year for sure. You're looking for another running back, but this year I still I'll tell you what, if I was in charge, I'm drafting first 3 rounds on defense. If a player is there, I'm not reaching, I'm not doing anything crazy, but if I can get a defensive player that's on my board in that area, I'm drafting him.
Well, that's what I was saying about Quiddy Pay earlier in what we were saying. He probably grades out to 23, 25 pick. Okay, still in the first round. So if you need an edge rusher, which I believe Dallas does, and he's available, whether you're picking him at 10 or 20, he still grades out at a first round pick, and that it's still a good pick. It's not a reach. Now, if you pick somebody that grades out to be like a third or fourth round pick, and you pick him in the first round, that's a reach. Like
Look,
whatever dipshit picks Mac Jones in the first round, it's just wasting a pick.
look, we just got Charlton not too long ago, and then traded him away. So like, we're not gonna get any of these half-ass Michigan defensive ends. I need somebody that's all in, Adam.
I,
All in, Adam.
I, I will say this, that the Don Brown defense
Michigan's
is
home of
hyper
losers,
aggressive.
Adam.
It's hyper aggressive,
I know.
and so you're going to get stats, but you're going to get stats because everyone's rushing and they can't block everybody.
Well,
And that's what I'm saying about Pay. He's not white, so I can't say he's got a motor, but
can't say he's got a motor, and he's not crafty.
yeah, he's got good football IQ.
Oh, there it is. There it is. No, we should. Oh no, no. We should take descriptions of players, remove their stats and names, and see if we can tell if they're white or black just by what they say.
Oh, I think Key and Peele already did that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if you hear, basketball or football like you can he's black. If you hear he's got a good motor, he's white. If he's got a good work ethic, he's white. If you hear athleticism, he's black.
Yeah. Or you hear, he's so fluid throwing the football. He's white.
He's white.
Sorry, our white shoulders are super smooth. Jeez.
BJ, I got a question for you. So let's say second round,
These always make me
Najee Harris is on the board, and you're the Cowboys. Do you take him?
See, that's such a tough question to ask stuff like that to me, because I'm already thinking, who's around him? You know what I mean? Like that would factor into my decision making. It's I like him. I think he's a good running back, and I think he'll be a good role player. I don't know if he's a starter, but I think he's a good change of pace guy.
Yeah.
But
receiving.
Going back
I
to
like
your point earlier, is you don't have a need, and if you're drafting first, second, and third round, you draft need, and you need defensive players.
Yeah.
Detroit needs everyone, so yes, the Lions would take them, but Dallas needs defensive players, and that's where they need to stock up on. So if he's available, you try to trade down, and you have someone else that wants him, and maybe you get extra picks, and you work on your defense.
I wouldn't mind that either. I really want Patrick Surtain though. That's the setup. Surtain, and then if we can get Surtain in my head, that frees us up to pick best available at 2, offense or defense.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying we don't need an edge rusher. I'm just saying I think corners are priority.
Yeah, everyone has a different strategy. A lot of people would just go, we'll take the best player, your best asset, and you will figure it out later, which is fine. Then you get Detroit that has 3 wide receivers that no one wants. But I've always been a fan of, these are my needs. I'm going to address my needs, whether there's a more talented player available or not. If I don't necessarily need him more than I need another position, I'm taking the position I need more.
That's if you're on an established team. If you're the Lions,
you take whoever you can get because you need every
the
position.
Best player available and then start to form a team around them.
Yeah, well, because you need every position.
Every position, yes.
I mean, if you're Jacksonville, it doesn't matter who's available, if the best available, because he's a position of need.
Oh, the Jaguars just fuck him up and ship him out anyways.
Pretty much.
Lions keep him there and kill him. Jacksonville fucks him up, ships him out.
Exactly.
We got all we need out of you, sir, and it's time for your second contract. You can get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
We don't need to resign you.
No. What? What?
Exactly. I fucked up my knees because of you. You guys like give me a second contract?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
No, too bad.
Go to Cincinnati. Shut up.
Right. Thank you for your services.
Yeah.
AJ Boye. Get out of here.
Is Cincinnati the new Cleveland? We can't really talk shit about Cleveland right now.
Yeah.
It's still funny. When they fail, it's still funny though.
No, see, Cincinnati has a decent asset at quarterback because Burrow, I think, is going to be decent. I think that the new Cleveland's the Jets.
Yeah,
It,
think so?
if you're drafted by the Jets, just retire.
retire.
Just get your signing bonus and retire.
This is a Lions fan telling you this, so you should listen up.
There was a guy that went to San Francisco, got his signing bonus, played 1 year, and was like, "I'm out."
Yes. Let's. We always used to have a little conversation in the family, like if you get paid $20 million, do you go in there and get knocked out by Mike Tyson?
Again, I am not going to a situation where I could come out of it and not know who my family is.
Exactly.
Hey, if you
Yeah, I
don't
think
remember
so.
who your family is, you don't got to split that money.
You try
Unless
telling
you're
my wife
married.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Unless you're
I,
married.
you're
That's a
what?
whole other story.
You're what? I don't remember this
Oh,
shit.
she will remember.
And I'm sure her lawyer will too.
Hey, dude,
Trying to
she
trick.
she remembers when I don't do the dishes. I think she remember if I fight Tyson or not.
Like,
Bing.
yeah, I'm your wife. Here's the marriage contract. I'm getting half. Do you
I'm
understand
just,
No,
half?
no, no,
I'm just
Dorian,
saying,
Dorian.
if you could
What's
fool your
hers
way
is
into it
hers, and what's mine is hers.
legally,
Indeed.
legally. Hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be crazy though. I knew my wife would tell me straight up. She was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, you got knocked out. Yeah, I'm taking at least half. At
No,
least."
but if you could trick an NFL team into letting you into a training camp, I'm taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
I'll take a couple of those rib splitters. Yeah, yeah. Concussion? Shit. Okay.
Be like Vince Papali and play like a season and be done with it.
How long does this health insurance last after I retire?
Exactly. Put me on the practice squad. Hey Dorian, you're Lamar Jackson, okay? So just act like you're gonna throw it and just run. As soon as you get the ball, one
Okay.
quick read and run, right?
Shh.
That's it?
Run,
Okay.
run where? Forward? No,
Just
no.
don't run on the back of the end zone.
Shh. Be an NFL pin cushion. Like, God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Speaking of Lamar Jackson, is there hope that he'll get any better passing the
I
ball?
I really really hope so, but I also fear that he's going to be a one-hit wonder. I
I
know
feel
I
like
asked you guys that earlier. I really fear that he's going to be a one-hit wonder.
I feel like we're looking at a mentally stable Vince Young.
Damn.
Yeah, just
I,
I he's been
uh,
in the league long enough where he should have been able to develop as an NFL quarterback reading.
Develop something.
Yes.
Develop something. Like I'm not expecting him to be perfect or top five, but like it's kind of like the NFL lets him through the regular season, and then the playoffs like fooled you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly what happened to him. It's like when the playoffs come, it seems as if like it's like you don't know who he is. Like when they were playing against Buffalo
is he
and how
getting the
Buffalo
help he needs? I mean, like, Baltimore's got a tradition of shit quarterbacks other than Steve McNair.
that is true. And it goes back to what
Wait, wait,
AK
wait. When did
talked about.
McNair play for Baltimore?
He played for
He played
Baltimore
for Tennessee.
and Baltimore. He played for Baltimore for a couple years after he left Tennessee.
Yeah, was this the same time? This was after Dilfer, right? No.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure he played for the Ravens.
Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I see it here. He's actually wearing.
But yeah, me nervous.
Clearly, he made an impression. But to your point, Baltimore's not really had a good track record with quarterbacks. Now,
No,
Flacco got hot that 1 year in the playoffs,
Mhm.
and it killed their future. Going back to bad contract signings, he got hot, got got lucky on that Hail Mary to Jacoby, what was it, Jacoby Jones,
Mhm.
and at that point signed a massive contract, bet on himself, got his money. Team couldn't sign anyone else. He left, and they're stuck.
Yeah, I'm just reading here about Steve McNair, and yeah, he actually he started. I think he started over Kyle Bowler, and then Kyle took over.
Oh, boy. Mm.
Damn,
Mm.
that's crazy.
Well, the Baltimore quarterback situation has always been jacked up because I remember I want to say it was 2001, 2002. My years could be no, I'm sorry, it was actually right after McNair apparently. They drafted Troy Smith from Ohio State, and he was supposed to be the starting quarterback. Got an infection in training camp and lost his starting job to Kyra Bowler and never played. So, but yeah, Baltimore does not have a history of developing quarterbacks. Even if McNair did play for them, he wasn't developed by them.
No.
Um, and I don't know if it's they can't draft quarterbacks or they can't develop them or a combination of both.
Yeah, because like you said, I think they're outside of Lamar Jackson. It was Joe Flacco who probably was the most successful Baltimore quarterback.
Yeah.
Um,
He that defense carried him. He's just a slightly more advanced version of Trent Dilfer.
no, I can see that. I can see
But
that.
he got like I said, he got hot that one year.
Yeah, yeah, he got really lucky that year.
Yep.
And then ever since it's been
Yeah.
trust me, a couple fantasy drafts I made that mistake.
Yeah.
Were you
So
drunk?
No, I drafted a whole bunch of receivers and running backs and drafted quarterbacks like in the 9th round.
yeah. So let's ask this question. So out of all the NFL teams, how many what ratio do you think have the teams won the Super Bowls who were like defensive minded teams only?
Okay, so let's this is
Bucks,
kind of
Bucks,
but
Ravens,
Okay.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Really? You don't think oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right,
first.
Seahawks. I think about yeah, first one. Yeah.
Broncos
Yeah,
when
Yeah.
when they won with Peyton, and that was all
That
defense.
was all defense. Yep. So that's five, right? You got five so far?
Off top, top of our heads,
Yeah,
five
five.
out of that's what
and
15
these are
years.
and these are all recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are recent, right?
Bears, 85 Bears.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was all defense.
Yeah, it's all defense.
Giants when they played the Bills.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Who's the start quarterback? It was Jeff Hostetler, right? He played.
It was
Sims was
Phil
out.
Sims.
Sims was
Sims
out.
got hurt, and it was Hostetler that started it. I mean, yeah, just top of our heads, I would say probably 20-25% of just teams that won strictly from their defense.
Yeah.
And you have a competent defense and a competent offense, you're going to be successful. So the fact that teams don't invest in their defense just tells me that they're shitty GMs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Yeah.
Telling you, most of your money should be spent on the lines.
Oh, 100%.
Everything else can we figure out. There's fast people everywhere.
Because if you have a good offensive line, you can have a mediocre running back and you'll have a good running game.
Yep. All you got to do is get first downs. That's 3 yards of carry.
If you have a if you have a really good offensive line and a mediocre quarterback, you can be the Minnesota Vikings with Case Keenum.
Yep.
Yeah. Good analogy. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to when the Broncos won with Peyton Manning, he's Peyton Manning. He is offensive journal on the field. His arm was crap that season.
Noodle.
I mean, I don't think he could throw it 20 yards down the field, and it didn't matter.
Yeah. All you saw was crossing routes, baby.
It didn't matter. It did not matter.
Marius Thomas.
Yeah.
Crossing routes.
I mean, and to that end, you realize that for 2 years in a row, we were one game away from having Mark Sanchez start a Super Bowl.
Dang.
Of all the quarterbacks that have never made it to the Super Bowl, no one is more deserving of not making it to the Super Bowl.
But
I don't like USC quarterbacks.
Well, and we talked about that. The USC, Alabama, Ohio
How do you
State.
Carson Palmer?
Well, okay, one in the past 20 years.
Yeah, Carson was okay, but everybody else after that was just fluff. They were just I don't know, watered down pre-packaged quarterbacks that were only special because they signed with USC.
Yeah, I mean, but I can't name a college that's had two really good quarterbacks recently.
Mm.
We went over this already.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. But BJ, I'm going to call you out because Alabama's had more than just Joe Namath.
Who?
Kenny Stabler.
Oh, that's right. He did go.
So yeah, it's 40 years ago.
Like 10 years apart. Because I believe Namath was in the early 60s and Stabler's in the early 70s.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're
But-
talking a decade apart of them being there too.
But and part of the problem is like, okay, there's 32 NFL teams. There are 15 starting NFL quarterbacks. Now
Right.
there are 32 quarterbacks that start, but there are only 15 starting level quarterbacks. You know, I guess think about it. Would you start a team around Lamar Jackson? Going back to him being a one-hit wonder.
If he felt like playing running back.
Yeah, but do you want him back there as your quarterback?
Oh no, I said if he felt like playing running back.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
would you feel confident with Teddy Bridgewater as your quarterback?
If I had a good offensive line.
Yeah.
These are a lot of ifs.
A lot of ifs. Alex Smith,
Nope.
Jared Goff.
I'll let you answer that.
Nope.
He's doo-doo water. I don't like him. I like Jared Goff.
Derek Carr, Matt Ryan.
See, man, I don't want to hate Matt Ryan, but boy, he makes it real easy. Is it the Falcons though? Like their defense isn't spectacular.
I think they only had like a solid defense, like maybe 1 year.
Their defense is so marginal they actually Cowboys decided to hire their head coach as their defensive coordinator. That was a good fucking idea. The 28-3 defense.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, don't they have Julio and Calvin Ridley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Couldn't figure out how to hold on to that 28-3 lead, could you? With Julio.
Yeah, I can tell you how you hang on to it. Run the goddamn ball.
How do you do that?
They tried. I mean, they were being conservative as shit. It's like, dude, like go for a play at least, like throw it down the field. And even when Bill Belichick when he did an interview about it, he was like we were taking advantage of them being conservative. We knew they were scared.
I was working that day and my manager said, "Man, I got a football party tonight. Really could use somebody to work for me." And I was like trying to be a team player because I just started there. I was like, "Yeah, I'll work for you tonight." And then that Super Bowl happened. Son of a bitch. So I tell every manager, and I'll tell you, think I'm joking. I'll be like, "I don't work tonight at the Super Bowl." Don't care. It's a thing.
Well, it should be a national holiday. If we're gonna have it, that holiday's about for Columbus Day.
They won't even make Election Day a national holiday, and you think they're going to give us the football game? Actually, probably more likely the football game would be
exactly. I was gonna say that.
fucking Hicks.
Hey, so somebody had a good point though. They said if it's illegal to hand out water in Georgia, what about if Matt Ryan and LeBron James just hand out Gatorade? It's not water.
Does it say water or does it say drinks in the law?
I believe it's water.
If it says water in the law, bro, I'm so dude. We're taking the podcast on the road. No, I'm serious. Think I'm playing. You got to talk to your wives. I don't have that fucking problem. And we're going to Georgia with some Gatorade.
Oh man,
I hope they arrest us. But that lawsuit would be so tasty.
Oh man, that'd be so crazy.
I'm gonna save money. I'm not even gonna hire a lawyer. I'll be like, it says fucking water. This is obviously not fucking water. Look, guys, I'm just gonna turn around, high five you, and sit down.
No, no. See what you do.
Case
You don't
closed.
don't hand out water. Hand out Coca-Cola. Really piss them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Major League Baseball players screen printed on the bottle
Yes.
Oh man.
with the Gator logo.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
rub it in, rub it in.
that's
Nuts
the
on
funny
their
thing.
chin, rub it in.
Yeah, they all got mad that Yosemite Sam in the reboot of Looney Tunes has guns taken away, so they gave him his guns back in a movie with LeBron James, and everyone doesn't know like they should be mad or not.
I want every aspect of our culture to change to be more PC. So then they cancel everything and they can't do anything.
Right.
Like, what are they going to do? They can't drink Coke. They can't watch baseball. Like, what are white people's summer going to be if you can't drink Coke and watch
Oh,
baseball?
the best part about them boycotting Coca-Cola was not just the fact that they boycotted Coca-Cola, was when the guy was up there saying, "You need to boycott Coca-Cola." If you look on his desk, there's a Coke sitting right behind his phone.
Oh, it's Diet Coke. It's not the same. What is that? What is that? Aspartame? Is that aspartame?
Oh, yeah, it's aspartame that's in diet.
When's that going to catch up with him?
In about 10 years.
As much as he drinks?
Well, what? Hey, there's a reason why he has to flush the toilet 10 or 15 times, and I'm sure it's the aspartame.
He's had me
Because
bloopy bloopy.
anyone who's ever OD'd on sugar, artificial sweetener, can tell you need to flush the toilet about 10 or
Hey,
15
those
times.
those sugar-free Haribo gummy bears. I read an article about those that make you shit your brains out if you aren't careful.
Yes.
Yeah, just to let you know, do not eat handfuls and handfuls of those.
So, up by BJ, up by you, the Russell Stover outlet.
Yes.
Okay, they had the bloopers of the sugar-free chocolate.
Oh, really?
Be careful.
Oh no. Oh no. Sugar-free chocolate give you the bloopy bloops. That's one of those things where you're like walking at work and you're like, shouldn't be here. Like, shouldn't be here.
You're like, yo, take an early lunch.
Uh,
It's only 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to Walgreens and shit. I'm not shitting here. Trying to ruin my reputation over some damn sugar-free chocolate. Well, it's about 11. It is 11 o'clock. Time for the
Yeah.
meltdown. Let's talk about shitting.
Oh man.
Hey, our first. Oh, James Wiseman just blew a wide open fast break dunk like a chump. Just to let you know, I bought an electric toothbrush. That thing's amazing. Feel like my teeth are polished. So slick. I've been messing with my coworker. I'm like, bro, touch it. Just touch it. It's so slick. Just touch the tooth.
I'm not touching your mouth.
This is what he goes. He goes, I'm not touching your fucking mouth. I was like, come on, bro. I'll keep my lips away. Just touch the tooth.
Okay. I think now's a good time to just call it a night.
Get your, if you don't have an electric toothbrush, get one. Your gums are going to hurt for a couple days, but fuck it. Slippery teeth. So clean. Nothing in between them.
BJ is looking for a sponsorship.
I know, right?
Oh, I've been telling everybody, get yourself an electric toothbrush.
Johnson & Johnson.
It even buzzes every 30 seconds to let you know to switch zones. Pro style.
This podcast brought to you by Oral-B.
You shit. That's funny as hell, Adam, actually.
Oh, yeah.
My Oral-B Pro 1000. Get your teeth right.
Well, BJ's right. It is getting late. So this has been another edition of Sandlot Sports. Everyone have a great night.
We didn't ruin it to end the show.
Yay!
Archives.
Archives.